Hey guys, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Pocket. We are over on Pokemon Zone where they have uploaded every card from the new set. We're going to take a look at all of the cards so you guys know what's in there that you can hunt for. Now, at the moment, I'm recording this just after the daily reset where the pack went live. The servers are absolutely busted. All I get is errors, so I will be doing some pack openings later, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the cards because the ones I've briefly looked at already are looking pretty solid. Looks like we're going to have some new options to play with in this set, which is absolutely fantastic. So the first thing is we got a new Executor. The Execute is a colorless. We already knew about this one, and it takes a grass energy from your energy zone and attaches it to the Pokemon. Good for boosting it up. Now they gave us a new Executor, and this is not an EX. This is a base Executor, which is kind of like a mini Alakazam in a sense. A little bit different on the scaling, but it's still pretty solid. Where it's a 4 cost with only 1 grass and 3 colorless with Psychic 80 plus, does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Pretty solid. Pikachu has 2. This is going to do the 120 against it. So you do have those decent matchups. When we look at Mewtwo, it's kind of awkward with the Mewtwo because you do have the detach. So the Mewtwo matchup isn't going to be the greatest. At most, you might swing on a Mewtwo with 3. I don't think you're often going to swing on a Mewtwo that has 4 on it. So the 3 will be the extra 60, which will only bring this to 140 damage. So you would need the Giovanni to land a kill. However, often Mewtwo might only have the 2 energies because, you know, it'll do the attach and the Gardevoir. So, you know, this one might fall off a little bit, but it is only a 1-pointer, kind of like that Alakazam, which is a little bit valuable. The next one we have is the Celebi EX. I pulled this one on my free-to-play account in my first pack. Flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 50 damage for each heads. I can see some fun happening with this card, especially when we take a look at Superior in a second, which is going to have a lot of synergy with a lot of high-cost grass units, which is going to be fantastic. So let's jump down into the Superior line. We've got the Snivy, 2 cost for 40, 1 retreat. Servine, 2 costs for 50 with the 1 retreat. Pretty staple. I would rather the Snivy have the only 1 cost with like 20 damage, but it is what it is. You will deal with it. But the Superior here, the talent is amazing. But once again, this does take a while to get online, so it will be a bit slower to play. But each grass energy attached to your grass Pokemon provides 2 grass energy. This effect doesn't stack. The stacking means you can't be running 2 Superiors and 1 energy is counting for like 4, is kind of what it's saying. So each energy is going to count for 2 energies. Really huge when we look at the Celebi. So Celebi with 1 energy on it, if you have the Superior, is going to be able to flip for up to 100 damage. If it's got 2 energy on it, it goes up to 200 damage. It goes pretty nuts. And once again, so you know you can get this Psychic off for 2 energies essentially when you have Superior. I think we're going to see a lot of fun Superior plays. That's what I do see coming up. Also makes the high retreat costs a lot more manageable as well on a lot of the grass Pokemon. Okay, so then we got Morel and Shiinotic. This one, you know, standard basic Pokemon. This one, 2 cost, Flickering Spores, 50 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. It's a pretty decent sleep ability. I kind of pair this up close to what Frostmoth is in value in that sort of sense, as opposed to, what's Frostmoth, 40 damage? You know, but similar type of effectiveness. Then we have the Energy Whip. If there's at least 3 extra grass energy attached to it, we get the 70, basically the Grass Lapras. Once again, if you pair that with the Superior, it's going to be a lot easier to get that extra damage. Next up, we have the Ponyta and Rapidash. So Ponyta, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. So you got a potential 40 on a 1 energy, which ain't too bad. This is actually a really decent basic. This is really nice for Blaine. I like this more than base Ponyta. And then over here, we've got a new option for the Rapidash. This art looks absolutely amazing in my opinion. It's now a 2 cost as opposed to the 1 cost. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 60 more damage. So you've got the 40. It's 1 extra energy cost than the other Rapidash, but at base you're getting the same damage, and then you got a chance to swing for 100, which is really honestly quite solid when you've got 100 HP as well. We already knew about the extra Magma. Honestly, I do see this having a tech position in some Blaine decks as well. Larvesta and then Volcarona. So Volcarona has the 3 cost, discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 80 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Honestly, I could see this being very, very threatening. Like, this could be a nice little addition to maybe like Charizard decks as something else to maybe boost up. It could have its own deck as well. I think you will be wanting to kind of play this in with the watch case, the Moltres EX, but like this to just snipe a benched Pokemon is really quite awesome. And we've got the new card, the Poker Flute, which can get a basic from your opponent's discard pile back onto the bench. So you can just do that and then go ahead and get the kill. Not too bad. So we'll have to see if this one does get some plays. I do like what they're doing with different playstyles on that card. Then Slandit. We've got a 1 colorless, 10 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does 40 more damage. Not too bad being able to swing for 50. Not the easiest setup though. It's just a situational usage on that extra damage. But then this one, we got the Slazzle with the poisonous claw. 30 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned with a 1 retreat, 80 HP, low HP, but you know, this is kind of similar to what you get on Rapidash with the 40 swing, but this has higher potential damage on the return, which isn't too bad. Moving on from that, Magikarp and Gyarados. I am loving this. I can't wait to play Gyarados in this one. So, Leap Out. Switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. This is very, very handy if you have to start with a Magikarp and you need to get it out. Now, going first and only having a Magikarp in hand is still crippling because you've only got 30 HP. That is the one problem that is always going to be a problem for Gyarados, is that if you go first and all you have is a Magikarp, you're at a high risk of actually losing that Magikarp. So that is the one massive problem where they didn't give this Magikarp any extra HP, but I do love the classic art on the Magikarp. Really solid and honestly a good effect for it, for the attack. Then for the Gyarados EX, 180 HP. I love seeing 180 HP. That is the first thing that I absolutely love. Rampaging Whirlpool. 140 damage, discard a random energy from among the energy attached to all Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. So what this is saying is, it's just Russian roulette. You use this ability and then one Pokemon on the board is going to lose an energy. You don't know who. I love it when they play into the side of the game that is only applicable because it is a digital game. Like, having that kind of effect in physical cards, it would be too hard to manage unless you had like dice, and it's not as smooth. So I love this kind of effect. I think it's fantastic. 140, the good thing is with Giovanni, you are swinging for the 150. So I think that is a pretty solid effect. Then we have obviously the Vaporeon that we knew about as many times as you want. You can move water energy from one of your benched water Pokemon to your active water Pokemon. Really, really solid. This is going to allow for some fun deck plays for the water decks. Then we got Finneon and Luminion. Finneon, just basically a pretty standard basic Pokemon. Then we have this one, Aqualiner. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So it's a bit of a Hitmonlee type effect on this one, except we got 2 costs and we're doing 50 damage. I don't know. I never enjoy Hitmonlee. I know some people find some good use out of it, but it's not really my cup of tea. Choodle, I don't really like Choodle. 2 retreat cost, 2 costs on the attack. 80 HP, I don't care that it's 80 HP. The retreat cost and the 2 costs on the attack for a basic, I just don't like. And then we got Dreadnought. Flip 3 water energies for 70 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. This isn't too bad. Kind of like normal Gyarados, except it's a little bit easier to get online because it's only 3, but it's a bit less damage. I don't know. Maybe this gets some play, but it's not like, I would love to see this do like 50 damage and have a 2 cost, so you can get it online quicker, because same problem with normal Gyarados is you get it online too late. Cramorant, what do we got? Dive. So 80 HP, 1 retreat cost. Flip a coin. If heads, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So it's basically a Dugtrio with 20 more damage, but a 3 energy cost. Obviously, it's a basic, so there's that advantage. I'm not a massive fan. I mean, I know Misty plays are always a thing, but I'm not a massive fan of that personally. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. The Pikachu, once again, up to 30 damage if you got 3 on the bench. This is actually really solid. Like, this just makes this Pikachu basically able to one-shot a Staryu on the enemy team. If Staryu goes first, if the Staryu player goes first, plays their Staryu, you got the Pikachu up, you can just swing turn 1 for 30 damage plus the extra 20. KOs a Staryu. That's kind of annoying. Raichu, 3 energy, 60 damage. This attack does 20 damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Once again, playing into the Poker Flute. I can't remember what it's actually called. But the Poker Flute is, what do they call it? The Whistle? I don't know what they actually call it. But it puts your opponent's basic Pokemon from their discard back onto the bench. So you could actually get some extra damage out of this. If they got 3, that is a 120 damage swing. That is pretty good for a 1-point Pokemon. Then we've got Electabuzz with Thunder Spear. This attack does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Once again, options. It's basically a basic version of Zebra Striker, but it costs 2. That's the kind of... I'm trying to draw parallels. Joltik and Galvantula. Now, Galvantula is a Pokemon I absolutely love. What have we got? Bug Bite for 30. Honestly, Joltik, pretty solid for a basic Pokemon with the 30 swing. It's only 40 HP, which is its downfall. But once again, you can beat out Staryus with that pretty easily. Then Galvantula with the Electro Web. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So that's... Honestly, I like it. It's like an Arbok, except the big thing that Arbok has is that it has the 100 HP. Yes, Arbok is a 2 retreat cost, but Arbok also has 1 colorless, which allows it some more flexibility. This might see some play because 30 into 70 ain't a bad swing combo, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see if this one does get some use. I don't think it's going to be as great as the Arbok, even though it does have the extra damage, just due to the fact that it can die to a lot more things. And then obviously, Dedenne, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Just a solid one. I think we'll see this some play in some Pikachu EX decks. Then Mew, Side Report. This is like the standard Mew from the immersive Mew that we get from but now we just got an easy way to get it in case you haven't finished the achievement. Mew EX, we already knew about that. Choosing one of your opponent's active attacks and use this attack. I think this is definitely going to see some use. I think we might see some Psychic Fire decks coming in with the current state of the meta and see that going through. Then we got Sigilif. I always hate trying to say this thing's name because I always say Siglif and I always just completely mispronounce this one. But this is basically a Meowth that doesn't have an evolution, so it's got a bit more HP. I mean, some people do play Meowth in the Mewtwo deck. I don't think as many play it now, but it just gives you a psychic option for that with more HP. So it's it's more pivotable than a Meowth because it's going to die to less things. So honestly, I don't not like this because it's only a 1 retreat cost as well. So we got 60 HP, Headbutt 20, and so pretty standard basic. Behemoth, I hate saying this name as well, 90 HP, 1 cost. This attack does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Once again, they're trying to play on the opponent's bench at the moment with this set, which is very interesting. So you can get up to 70 damage for a 1. Honestly, it's not too bad. Bit situational for me, but it would be a great side deck card in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see. Someone might find something good with this one. Now, Flabebe, 1 cost. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. So we have another version of the new Jigglypuff. That's going to be annoying. Floette, Life Drain, 40 damage and heal. And once again, only a 1 cost and heal 10 damage from it. Nothing crazy. But honestly, it's kind of like Rapidash with an extra effect, but Rapidash has the higher HP, when you look at it and compare them to like that. So you're getting the extra effect on the attack for the cost of some HP. And then Florges, what do we got? 120 HP, 80 damage, and heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. Now, this is kind of like Butterfree, except Butterfree's is through a talent, but still... I mean, not a bad pivot play considering it is only 1 retreat cost, and not bad to go into Psychic decks with something that is not weak to Dark as well, so that is just something to consider. Not too bad. Swirlix, once again, another 60 HP, 20 damage, 1 retreat cost. Slurpuff, 60 damage, 100 HP. This kind of just... It's kind of just a worse Sandslash, isn't it? Stage 2, 2 retreat cost, 100 HP, but 60 damage instead of 70. I guess it's because one of them's colorless. Maybe that's why the balance works, but it is what it is. Okay, we got a Mankey swinging for 50. If Tails, this attack does nothing, okay? And then we've got a Primeape, which is just a punch for 50, 80 HP. When we compare this to normal Marowak, which is 40 damage but 100 HP, that's kind of the trade-off you're looking at here. They're both 1 retreat. I don't know. It's not too bad. That 50 damage, like that flip could be damn annoying. But once again, I hate flipping and doing no damage. So that's the thing. I still like the other primate more, even though it's a bit harder to go. Okay, here we go. I haven't even seen these. First of all, I love any Golem artwork. I think Golem is one of the sickest Pokemon out there. I have not seen these cards. Please make Golem good in this pack. Okay, Geodude's still shit. 2 retreat cost and 2 cost attack. 70 HP. That sucks. Traveler a little bit better because now we only have a 2 cost for 40 damage, still 3 retreat. And then Golem, 160 HP. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes minus 30 damage from attacks. Okay, so they flipped the bill on Golem. I actually like this. I actually really do like this. So it's 120 damage, but because it's going to take minus 30, it can live things like a Mewtwo. It's not going to live a Charizard though. But you know, I kind of like this. I kind of like this. It's flipping the bill where the other Golem does damage to itself. This one does something else. But the biggest problem, once again, is this Geodude is shit. I know we've got a new card that gives you, you know, minus 2 retreat, but that is a supporter. And early game, you don't want to be wasting your supporter on trying to retreat out. Like, I really don't like the 2 retreat costs on Geodudes that we're getting. And the 2 costs for 30 damage. I just really don't like the Geodude. That's my biggest problem with this one. But I will still play this because I do love Golem as a card. I think he's amazing. Aerodactyl, we know about this one. Your opponent can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their active Pokemon. You can use this from the bench. You know, I think this could have some play. This is one of those cards I just really need to play myself. I do like Marshadow. I think Marshadow has a place. It's going to be very technical, this card. It may look worse than things like the Primeape, but in the right situation, you can really abuse this type of thing. So we'll have to wait and see. 40 plus 60 if your Pokemon was knocked out last turn by an attack. Not too bad. Stonjourner, dude, another name that I hate saying. Mega Kick for 90, 120 HP. I just don't like it. We'll have to see if there's more support for these guys. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan. All right, Coughing. 1 cost, put 1 random Coughing from your deck onto your bench. Okay, we've got to search for the Coughing. You know what? I kind of like this more than the base Coughing because at least you're filling it out. So if you Koga, you're good. Okay, then new Wheezing. Smokescreen, 50 damage. During your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to use an attack, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, the attack doesn't happen. Dude, more troll stats with the troll strats with the Wheezing. Interesting. It's a 2 cost though. It's a 2 cost. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Perleon standard basic with the 60-21. Lipard with the 90-40. 1 retreat. Once again, 90 on these guys is just so annoying. There's a lot of them. If we could create that up to 100, it makes it a lot better. We'll have to wait and see. Venipede, another 60-21. Whirlipede, Poison Sting, 1 cost, 20 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. It does have a 2 retreat cost, however. And then Scolipede is 140 HP, Venoshock, 70 damage plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does 50 damage more. So it's like a cheaper cost Muck with a cheaper retreat. So, but it is a stage 2. That's the trade-off there. So we'll have to wait and see. So Druddigon looks like being our only dragon in this one. 100 HP. It's a basic Pokemon. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by the attack from an opponent's Pokemon, do 20 damage to the attacking Pokemon. Not too bad because this is kind of like your Poliwrath. You can have some fun plays. Now it is going to be fire and water. I much prefer the Dragonite water and electric. I'm going to have to cook on this one to see if there's something I can think of for this. Maybe Eevee deck. Eevee Vaporeon and Eevee Vaporeon Flareon deck. Could be a thing. Could be a thing because Vaporeon and does this new Vaporeon? Let me quickly check this. Let's have a quick look. Does it have a lot of colors? Yeah, it's got 2 colors. The normal Flareon has 2 colors, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it could be a thing. Okay, new Pidgey has less HP, but does 10 more damage. So we go from 60 to 50, I think it is, and 10 to 20 on the damage. So I like this Pidgey more in some situations, I think. Pidgeotto, I just don't like. No, I'll take the 30 damage for 1 cost every day of the week. And then Pidgeot EX, 3 colorless, 80 plus. This attack does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Once again, trying to play around that. I'm not a massive fan of this. Like, I'm not a huge fan. However, it does have 170 HP, which I do like. I do like the extra chunk in some of these cards to deal with the current meta, but we'll have to wait and see. Tauros, once again, 100 HP, which I do really like. Fighting Tackle, 40 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is EX, this attack does 80 more damage, so you got 120 on the swing. Insta-kill on the Pikachu EX. Not so great against the Mewtwo and Charizard decks unless you have some chip damage in there, but we have been getting some more universal cards that can attack bench, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it gets some play. Then we get the Eevee in here. Continuous steps. Flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 20 damage for each heads. This is essentially your Licky Tongue with only one cost, and it's a basic with one retreat and 60 HP. Honestly, I like this. The normal Eevee to this, I'm going to take some gamble. We'll have to see how it works out. Maybe I'll run one of both just to even it out a little bit. And then we got Chatot. Mimic. Shuffle your hand into your deck. Draw a card for each card in your opponent's hand. It sounds fun, but it does no damage, and you're wasting an energy to do it, but I do like the fact that you got Mew in the background of the card. I'm going to have to think about this one. I'm really going to have to think deep about this one on the Chatot. I think it's too situational. For me personally, but, you know, if it works, I mean, it could be nice, but I just think it's kind of like red card where it's too situational and I just feel like I always lose with it. All right, Old Amber, obviously, there's nothing new on that, I don't think. Pokemon Flute. Okay, yeah, put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench. Mythical Slab. I do think the Poke Flute will have some use with obviously some of the cards we are seeing in this set so far. Look at the top card of your deck. If that card is a Psychic Pokemon, put it into your hand. If it is not a Psychic Pokemon, put it on the bottom of your deck. Dude, this isn't even a supporter. Why are we buffing best deck? Why are we buffing best deck, guys? This is disgusting. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Well, let's see, because what are you running? You're running 2 Gardevoir lines. That's 6 cards. You're running 2 Mewtwo EX. That's 8. That's what's that? 8 cards. Then you're normally running a Baby Mewtwo. That's 9 cards. So 9 cards. I guess it's kind of like Misty in a sense, because if you're running 9 to 10 cards in that, depends how many you draw into, obviously, but it's kind of like, on average, let's just say it's like a 50-50 chance, like Misty, to be an amazing card, and a 50-50 chance to be like a dead card, but it's not a supporter. I mean, I like it. I like it personally. I would be playing this in Mewtwo, unless I'm completely missing something. All right, Budding Expeditioner. Put your Mew EX in the active spot into your hand. So we've got a Koga for Mew EX. Mew EX needs 3 energy. I guess you're just using this to save it from a death instead of it dying. But I don't know. I guess it's a free switch for Mew. I guess it's a free switch in a way. Not too sure. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Then obviously Blue, during your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take -10 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. I do like Blue. I think Blue will see some use in specific matchups. And then Leaf, during this turn, the retreat cost of your active Pokemon is 2 less. I do think this could be useful in some of those decks, but we will have to wait and see. I thought they said there was going to be 5 trainers. I guess there's only 3. That is every card. Now let's take a look at the fancy versions of the new cards. Executor Full Art, a bunch of them marching through. Dude, I love this Slandit. I love the Slandit. I don't know why, I just really like that. It looks like it's used like a sharp focus camera in real life almost. I don't know, something about it's really cool. Superior's nice. Vaporeon, we've already seen that like that. Dedenne, Marshadow, Celebi EX, the 2-star version, looking clean. Dude, the Gyarados EX, I love this. It's got like the Giovanni type color in the background, which I really love. It really contrasts with the blue. I really want this card. I definitely want this card. The Mew Full Art, it's kind of like the Celebi. It kind of gets flushed out with the background. I like it when there's a contrasting background. The Aerodactyl, I think the outline on the Aerodactyl really just suits it. I don't know. I like the Aerodactyl as well. Pidgeot looks cool as well. Dude, blue looks wicked. I do like the blue card. Blue's my favorite full art trainer. Okay, now we get into the rainbows. We got the Mew EX. The Mew, I love this one. And I love the Aerodactyl. These two rainbow borders are absolutely wicked. I love them. And then we've got the Celebi EX Immersive and the Mew EX as the crown rare. Okay, I thought there was going to be a Mew EX with the immersive as well, but I guess not unless they just haven't got it yet. But that looks like all of the cards we are getting in the set. Once again, let me know your favorites. I think Grass is going to have a lot of fun with this set. I am also really looking forward to playing around with Gyarados. I am loving the Gyarados. He's always been fun. I'm looking forward to playing with Vaporeon. Who else am I really excited about? Those are the main ones that I'm excited about at the moment. I definitely want to play the Golem, and I'm not saying those are the best ones. I'm just saying these are the ones I'm most excited about playing. And that's pretty much the main ones. I may use Drotagon as like a stall type thing, and I may try and make a fire water deck just for the sake of it. Tauros may get some play from me, and I think the Eevee will. Besides that, we've got some decent trainers. I think this is a great card for the Psychic decks. Maybe you run Psychic decks with more Pokemon now so that you can take advantage of these types of things. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We will do some experimenting. But anyway, guys, that is all of the cards. Let me know your favorite one in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.